John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hey there, this is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. I've been with, 30 years in the credit industry. Spent some time at Equifax, which is one of the 3 generally recognized credit reporting agencies in the United States, and FICO, which is the company behind the design and development of the FICO credit scoring system, of course. So today I'm going to talk about what you should do, or maybe more importantly, what you should not do if you find out that your credit card has been stolen or otherwise compromised. So first off, I'm an older guy. I'm older than 50. I'm not going to tell you exactly how old I am, but I'm older than 50. I've been using credit cards for, I guess, over 3 decades. And I can't tell you how many times my credit card number has been compromised. I don't know, a lot. Let's just say a lot. For those of you who are watching who are younger, early 20s perhaps, maybe even the late teens, and you've never had your credit card compromised, just wait, your turn is coming soon. So my point is if you are watching and your credit card account has been compromised, then welcome to the club, because everybody eventually has their credit card account compromised. So what do you do if you find out that your card has been compromised? Well, the first thing you do is something that you should not do, which is panic. You should not panic. You should not freak out. You are now part of a not very exclusive club of people who have had their credit card information compromised and abused. So your card information may have been compromised through a data breach. Your card information may have been compromised through physical means like a skimmer. And if you don't know what a skimmer is, Google credit card skimmer, and you'll see it's just a little piece of hardware that when you slide your card through it, it remembers all the information. I'm not sure if they have chip skimmers where we're kind of converted to a chip environment now, but one way or the other, the fraudster is able to get through your physical card. They're able to get your information off of it and then recreate your card and then use it. So that's called account takeover, by the way. So if your existing card has been compromised and is being abused, that's called credit card account takeover. It's not true name fraud, meaning that the account was not opened by a fraudster in your name. They're using a pre-existing card. If you find out that your card has been compromised, the first thing you need to do is call your credit card issuer. That's the number one thing to do. Don't call the credit bureaus, don't call the police. Call your credit card issuer and let them know, hey, I think my card has been compromised. They're going to go over some of the charges with you, and you'll be able to identify which of the charges are valid and which of the charges are fraudulent. They're going to make you attest under the penalty of perjury that the charges are not yours and that you did not benefit from them. And that's to help separate people who are actually the victim of fraud from scammers who are just trying to not pay their bills. And so once you do that, they're going to close the account, or they're going to disable that number, and then they're just going to reissue a new card for you with a new account number. Sometimes they'll FedEx it to you, sometimes they'll mail it to you. One way or the other, they're going to get a card in your hand as quickly as possible so that you can continue to use it. That's the first thing you should do. First thing you should do, contact the issuer so they can close the account, get you a new card, and you can keep on rocking and rolling with the new card. That's number one. Number 2 is you probably want to, at the very least, pull your credit reports just to make sure that the balance of that card as it appears on your credit reports is correct. For example, if you have a card and the balance of all of the legitimate charges is $1,000, but the balance in your credit report is $3,000, and that includes some of the not legitimate charges, then you're going to want to dispute that. No big deal. You're going to want to dispute it. The credit bureaus will contact the card issuer. The card issuer will verify that the balance is actually much lower. They'll update your credit reports and they'll let you know what the results were of that investigation, and you'll be fine. You'll be in good shape. Now let's talk about liability. What if someone steals your card and uses it? What is your liability for those charges? I'm going to tell you what your liability is. It's nothing. You have no liability because of two reasons. Number one is the Fair Credit Billing Act. This is not the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Don't get them confused. One's the FCRA, the other is the FCBA. The Fair Credit Billing Act caps your liability on credit card fraud to no more than $50, but you have to contact your issuer. You can't just be the victim of fraud and then do nothing. You got to contact your card issuer, but your liability is capped at $50. So at worst, the only amount you'd have to pay is $50. But you know what? I mean, why would you want to even pay that, right? It's not your fault. You're the victim of a crime. The 4 credit card networks actually do one better than the FCBA liability cap. The 4 major credit card networks are Amex, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa. They all have 0 fraud liability policies, meaning that if you contact the card issuer and you're legitimately the victim of fraud, then you're going to have to pay the grand total of $0. So you really have no liability for credit card fraud, but you have to contact them. I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to consumers who've said, hey, I was the victim of fraud. I was real busy and didn't get around to That's ridiculous. You're not that busy that you can't call the card issuer and let them know that you've been victim of a crime. So you do have to contact the card issuer at the very least. It's the minimal amount of work that you have to do. You know, punch a few numbers and talk to them and let them know that you've been the victim of fraud. But check those credit reports. You don't want that stuff blowing back on your credit reports. And then another thing is why? What happened? Check your other credit cards to make sure that they also have not been subject to abuse, and just make sure that you're not more, the victim of a larger pattern of an issue rather than just kind of an isolated use of a single credit card. It's inconvenient. You're going to have to change all of your auto billing that's against that card. You're going to have to change account numbers in your Netflix. You know what I mean? All the stuff that you have, that account number is already in some other system and you use it to make payments on things. You're going to have to change all that. So sorry, that's an inconvenience, and that's one of the downsides to all the credit card fraud. So that's about it. You have no liability, just a little bit of inconvenience, and you'll be good to go. So if you have any more questions about credit card fraud, drop them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.